Okay guys, the Pokemon Sword and Shield expansion pass is awesome. As I played through the Isle of Armor, it was just non-stop quality of life improvements and amazing new gameplay features, so many that I have to make a video about it. So this is going to be the top 10 best new features with the Isle of Armor update. If you end up enjoying the video, don't forget to leave a like and definitely share it with your friends. Maybe even get them to convert and actually buy the DLC if they already haven't. It's definitely worth it. So the first one I want to talk about is one of the best. So you can talk to Honey, you can give her some watts, and after giving her 400,000 watts, even though it sounds like a lot, you get one of the best upgrades in the game in all of Pokemon, a vitamin machine that gives you half off the cost of vitamins. Yes, when you buy in bulk, you get half off EV training. That is one of the greatest things that has ever happened in Pokemon. Now, I do know with the Roto Lotto and the O-Power Bargain and also Slateport City and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, you could get effectively the same price for medicine. But you know what you couldn't do in those games? Give your Pokemon 26 protein and then instantly max out its EVs. Competitive Pokemon is more accessible than ever in Pokemon Sword and Shield, and now with the Isle of Armor update, it's even better. And this isn't just for like new players trying to get into the game, or also even casual players trying to buff up their team on the cheap. Like if you got millions of Pokédollars, EV train your Pokemon. There's no excuse to not do it right now, and competitive players, oh, this is amazing. I'm actually kind of mad because of the millions I've spent to already EV train my Pokemon, but once you give her 400,000, you get access to all of them. Also, it's pretty cool to get the Rotomi, so Honey, giving her watts, absolutely worth it, but I don't think it's like too much worth it after that. Like the Dojo background for 500,000 total watts isn't really that crazy, and the other things, they're good, but they're not as cool as getting half off EV training. Like that still blows my mind. I love it so much. Now, the next best feature is another there's no excuse to not be competitive feature, and that's Ditto Island. You can find it in the northeast part of the Workout Sea, and it's just populated with Ditto, but it also kind of like holds your hand and tells you exactly what you need to be doing here, because I don't remember if it's this rock or this rock over here. When you first arrive, it gives you a Destiny Knot. So it's like, hey, here's the Destiny Knot, here's how you pass down IVs while breeding, go and get yourself a Ditto and make it happen. But then, Ditto are all over the place, so what you can do is you can just KO and farm a lot of Ditto, get a strong Ditto, and then that gives you higher chances for max IVs. But there's also a Ditto Den here, and it's not a difficult Ditto Den. Like back on the mainland in Galar, if you do that Ditto Den, you have to reset until you get a purple beam, and then you have to go for a 5-star Ditto, and then there's a chance you get a 5 or 6 IV Ditto. With this, all of the beams are just going to be regular Ditto, unless you get an event beam. If that happens, then what you need to do is head on over to that den over there, throw a wishing piece, come back. But when you get a Ditto, you just soft reset for it, and then you now have high IV Dittos on this Ditto Island, and it's just so cool. Like, Game Freak is spelling it out right now that Pokemon is a competitive game, and that you need to get in on that high-level late-game action. There's also just a cute little Roman Ditto over here, too. So that's pretty cool. And an interesting thing about that Ditto is that it seems to have at least 3 guaranteed IVs. That's really nice of Game Freak to do. Let's get on to some of the other cool features. Like the new Digging character, Digging Paw. This guy is busted, and you've probably discovered that very quickly. Now, it is a pretty high cost. Spending 7 Armorite ore is expensive, but if you're just doing a lot of raids, like just think about it this way. Go be resetting for Dittos, do Ditto raids, go to Digging Paw, and then you get a lot of watts that way. So, I mean, just mashing through, oh, hold on, we're getting a mad rush here. Okay, this is actually, I haven't had this happen yet. I can't wait to see how many watts I end up with. So, just insta, yeah, this is why it's good. This is why it's busted. When this happens, you're looking at hundreds of thousands of watts. So this is going to be good for maxing out Honey. This is going to be good for unlimited wishing pieces, anything else you can get with it. 120,000 watts. That's nowhere near the highest I've seen, but you do that. So as you're running around collecting, oh, wait, he keeps on going? There we go, 171,000 total. So as you're running around getting Armorite just through finding it on the ground, talking to the lady that can also give you Armorite, and then doing max raid battles, you talk to this guy after a while, and then you're going to be set on watts for a good long time. That's an example of why this is one of the best things ever in Pokemon. Now, forgive me for sounding like a broken record at this point, but this is one of the best things ever in Pokemon. Can you even blame me when mints respawn every day? This is known as Mint Island. That's right. The nature-modifying mints respawn on this island every day. So you can look over there, that's the Tower of Waters, just go west, and then you find this island, and you just time skip, and you get mints, and it's insane. Now, as you can also see, it's not only mints that spawn, but you still have a really good chance, and you can get 1 to several mints every day, and then to get them to respawn, all we have to do, time skip. It's kind of classic at this point, but there is a catch. It's kind of weird, like everywhere else in the game, and even in like base Pokemon Sword and Shield, all you have to do is time skip, and then you get the items to respawn. For some reason, out here, you have to refresh your game in some kind of way. So we go over here, well, nothing spawned, go over by this tree, nothing spawned, and you just kind of like make a lap around the island, but we don't have anything. So what you need to do is save your game and then reset the game, and then that's going to reload the area, which will cause items to spawn. Or at least that's one thing you can do, but I found a faster way that no one's talking about. You open up your Pokemon camp. I was like thinking, how do you reload the area? Pokemon camp? Let's try it out. So you just go in really quick, you quit out. This is way faster than saving the game and reloading your entire game. And then we're on the items. So yeah, that was right where one of the items is. Quiet Mints. It's that easy. It's that fast to get several rolls at mints and then getting several mints. This is way faster than spending 50 battle points or doing whatever other hoops you need to do to get some mints. Check this one over here. Yeah, so you have honey, energy powder. Sometimes behind that tree, there's a wishing piece. So this is just awesome levels of grind and getting awesome items. And then all you need to do, once you've farmed out everything, go back over here, reset, open up Pokemon Camp, and again, like this kind of blows me away as much as the vitamins. It's insane. Another amazing feature is the Chromatic. Now, being able to craft in Pokemon is something that players have wanted for a really long time. This isn't as like absolutely insane overpowered as some people might have wanted it, but overall, it's very useful. You can just throw in some items that you're not using, some junk items, and then either turn it into a money-making machine. I have a full guide on that. You can check it out in the description down below, or you can also just kind of recycle or upcycle some items that you don't really care about and then end up profiting off of it. So if you're mashing A, you can get through a cycle on the Chromatic in about 12 seconds, so you can craft a lot of items in a short amount of time, and then you can also get certain items that might be very competitively useful. Still, guys, I'm waiting on the full list, potentially a data mine showing us all the recipes, so the Chromatic guide is still a little ways off, but this thing is incredibly useful and pretty awesome, and it's hiding in plain sight, and it's one of my favorite things about the Isle of Armor. So we just got Black Sludge. You can only get that in Winden once, and then you can also get it from like the daily trader guy, but it's not super consistent. There's also some other really cool things you can do, like let's go and take, not Careful Mints, where are they? Dynamax candies. Like, you're going to end up with more Dynamax candies than you're ever going to use. Well, this actually turns into a good way of making money because it spits out something that you can sell. Dragon Fang. I just made 2K. Now, if we go back to the Galar region, there's a very surprising new feature that kind of caught everyone by surprise. So if you go to the Battle Tower, you can actually make it to where transfer Pokemon can be legal in rated battles. Now, the main drawback is the Pokemon will have to relearn its entire moveset, so keep that in mind. If you have transfer-only moves like Pain Split on Rotom, Belly Drum on Slurpuff, and some other like exclusives, don't use this feature. But if you already have like, you know, Generation 7 ranked Pokemon that you were using and you don't want to rebreed them, especially with the 100+ new Pokemon introduced with the Isle of Armor, some Pokemon in base Pokemon Sword and Shield, you can just convert them for ranked battles. Once again, no excuses for not being competitive in Pokemon Sword and Shield. I feel like this is actually too handholdy. I feel like Game Freak is trying to make competitive too free, but they're just blasting it. Hey, get out there, play some ranked battles, maybe get into VGC, check out Verlisify's competitive guides. I mean, the writing's on the wall. It's all there. Now, I didn't want to overburden you guys with only competitive quality of life changes, but that's most of what the Isle of Armor is. This small little island has a girl on it. You talk to her, and she can reset the EVs of your Pokemon for 10 Armorite. Now, 10 Armorite is pretty expensive, especially with the Digging Paw, but if you don't have the EV reducing berries, this is worth it if you just like desperately quickly need to get an EV training setup going, or you've like messed up the EVs, or you're trying to like switch up a Pokemon or something. That's awesome. We definitely needed something like that in Pokemon Sword and Shield. Now, another really cool thing are just the environmental interactions that you find on the Isle of Armor. So we got some Sharpedo running us down, but this is a real thing. And people say like, yo, that whale lord is massive. It's massive. It's bigger than you're going to expect. It takes up a huge chunk. You can see it from spawn, and if you interact with it, it's actually an encounter, and it's one of the strongest wild Pokemon ever seen in a Pokemon game. So if you want a fun level 80 battle, here you go. Still easy with level 100 fully IV EV trained Pokemon, but the thought was nice. Like, we have the life-size Wailord put in there by Game Freak, just kind of give you guys a sense of scale and add into the lore of the game. So that's still a win in my book. And then another one of the best features in all of Pokemon has been present the entire time in this video. Pokemon following you. How cool is that? And all you have to do is switch out the first Pokemon on your party, and then that Pokemon is going to follow you. So Swap, Eternatus, I mean, you can just have whatever Pokemon you want. Eternatus, that's a big boy. That's pretty scary. A Pokemon following you. It's back in Pokemon. Go for a stroll, have a good time. Only happens on the Isle of Armor, so it kind of makes it a little more worth it, don't you think? I think it's pretty cool. So yeah, you can have legendary Pokemon, you can have any of the Pokemon following you. Also, you can toggle it in the dojo. So if it feels like the Pokemon are getting in the way or it's acting a little janky, talk to this kid, and then you can have it to where Pokemon are always on a stroll, or you can disable the feature, and yeah, that's kind of it. But I mean, Pokemon following you, always a fan service, highly requested feature, and it's in the Isle of Armor. Pretty nice. And then the last best thing about the Isle of Armor is just the overall environment and feel of the game. There's more structure, there's more terrain, there's more cool little assets just kind of put throughout the world. And one of the best things is that Pokemon don't only primarily spawn in grass. Like if you go to the regular wild area in the Galar region, well, it's just going to be like some strong Pokemon in the middle of nowhere. But no, Pokemon just kind of spawn wherever they want, and it really adds to the feel of the game. It's just wonderful. You're in caves, Pokemon all over the place. It almost feels like every place is grass in its own way. So just kind of go around and enjoy the scenery. Also, there's some breathtaking sights when you get high up on the mountains, and the more you explore, the more cool stuff you just kind of go around and find. And the best thing about it is just as you're wandering around, you're seeing like so many different species of Pokemon. You might find a rare Pokemon, a fully evolved Pokemon. You just get to go out there and catch them. And then in the forest, Pokemon are just springing up and popping around all over the place. I think it's just like really cool and really brings the Isle of Armor together. So hope you guys enjoy the video. If anything helped you out, don't forget to leave a like, share it with your friends, subscribe if you want to do so. So I hope you all have a nice day, and thank you very much for watching.